day 2 of Desert Brutality on February 3rd, 2019, in St. George, Utah. The stages are in the order that I shot them in Squad 7. So the first stage of day 2 was stage 3. This one started, I actually ran this first in my squad, so I hadn't seen anybody else do it yet. We wound up waiting after a couple of us had gone because the sun had come up behind this berm in the first shooting bay and nobody could see anything. You start running through that bay and then go across to this swinging bridge, which you need to entirely lie prone on. Then I load my rifle. I only have 5 rounds in this first starting magazine as per the stage design. And then you alternate hits between the clay targets that are pasted in the middle of these cardboard targets and the steel. I do a reload from prone with a magazine I had in my pocket. Each time you move or take a shot on this swinging bridge, your sight picture is moving left to right, and it's really a timing thing about waiting until you have that perfect sight picture to make the hit. The ROs are watching the clay targets through binoculars to call hits, because even back here with the rifle through the 3x magnifier, it's hard to tell if you're getting the clay hits or not. The steel hits are easy because they make a big sound. You can see by the rope on the bridge how much it's moving left to right. Hit. I now clear my rifle, get up off the bridge, run across here, and engage this pistol spinner target. It's a little frustrating I wasn't able to get the spinner all the way around, which cost me a 60-second penalty. Later, the ROs advised if you actually hung your elbows off of this ramp, you'd be able to shoot a lot more accurately than by resting your arms on it. Wish I had known that when I was going. So the idea on these targets is to get hits on the plate that's moving away from you to increase the momentum. You can see I almost got it to gut around, and then I have to do another reload. And there's the par time.
Thank you. Race clear.
Stage 4 was called asset management because you have to pre-place all the magazines you'd want to use in the stage in this carrier that's across from you. So you start off with only 5 rounds in your rifle, and there's 5 clays that you have to break on these targets outside the house.
Yep.
Stand by.
That one took 2 hits. I probably should have moved up before I took this shot to get a better chance of hitting. So I leave one on the right, unload my rifle, run across. I'm going to need to pick up my magazines, which I left, I think, one pistol and one rifle mag, and then carry these 2 steel plates that we've named Lieutenant Dan, which weighs 80 pounds, back over and across the line. Maximum speed while I'm carrying that is not really quick. Once you get Lieutenant Dan over that line, you then run to another bay where you pick up a mortar tube, which has to be brought back as well. There are also some rifle targets that need to be engaged from this box. I believe it's 2 hits each on 2 steel targets. Then I've cleared my rifle and I'm picking up this mortar tube, which does not weigh as much as Lieutenant Dan, at least. This has to come around the corner and over this next line. Now I have to, from anywhere in the house, engage the final clay and then get hits on the steel targets on both the left and the right sides. I almost run out of time to hit this clay. The RO is coaching me to hit those steel targets. Luckily, I was able to get the clay right before. I only ended with a second and change left on par time.
Clear. Drop the slide. Holster.
Stage 1 FOB assault, forward operating base, was probably the most fun stage of the match for me, even though you can see I wipe out towards the end. Literally fall. You start by running with an unloaded rifle across to the front of the berm where this tank prop and these large water tanks are. You have to enter between these 2 fault lines to climb up the higher set of water tanks and over while keeping your rifle in a safe direction. You then load your rifle and there are paper targets as you move forward. You have to be very careful because if you shoot anything that's behind you, there's a steel target you have to get a hit on to proceed. Then you can engage the paper targets. You don't want to aim the rifle past 180 degrees, so you have to engage the paper targets while they're still ahead of you. It's very disconcerting when you're watching and seeing the person engage the targets on the right side there because it was awfully close to that 180, but nobody broke it or had any safety issues. At this point, I'm putting a few extra hits on each target because I don't want to take a penalty for failing to engage. Now you engage 3 steel targets from this foxhole. You need 2 hits on each. You can't shoot any twice in a row, so you have to transition back and forth between all 3 of them. There's 3 of these foxhole positions where you have to do the same thing. The RO had advised that most people were putting their rifle down between climbing in and out of the foxholes. I was confident I could keep it pointed down range safely while moving, and it would be quicker, so that's what I did. You can see here as I get out, I managed to trip and fall, which dislodges the GoPro quite a bit. Since I'm still able to keep the rifle safely pointed down range and not lose control of it, I was not disqualified for falling. If you lose control of your rifle by dropping it, you will be disqualified from the entire match. So I'm still engaged in the last 3 steel targets from the last foxhole here, with the GoPro kind of hanging loose off my head. I'm still able to complete the stage and get a decent time. My right elbow pad took the brunt of the fall, so it really didn't hurt that much with the adrenaline. The last stage of the second day was called Office Space. It was a very challenging pistol stage. A lot of people didn't even make it through the pistol, through to the rifle. You start with what's called a Polish plate rack. As you start dislodging these steel plates, this thing will start spinning, and you will need to get the rest of the plates while it's moving. Once I figured out where I needed to hold with my pistol sights, I was able to clear most of these targets pretty quickly. I lost a lot of time still on the plate rack. Had I gotten through that faster, I think I could have gotten 1 or 2 more rifle targets. So the pistol is cleared and holstered, and then you climb under this table with your still having your retaining your rifle. Then engage these 2 targets where you shoot the center, which pops up a head, and then you have to shoot the head to reset the target. Again, I'm still figuring out where my pistol sights exactly are hitting, and that's slowing me down. Then put the hot pistol in this box, vault over the table, retrieve your pistol, and engage this spinning Texas Star target. You only can take 1 shot from each position on this barrier, whether you hit or not. This hung a lot of people up. Quite a few people timed out before they even got past this Texas Star. I was able to make all the hits and clear the target and move on. Again, the pistol is cleared before moving through the obstacles. This is a fairly simple obstacle you have to go over. And there's one more pistol engagement with the final one of these 2-part targets. Pistol's cleared, and moving to the rifle area, there's 6 plates on this rack. You have to engage each plate from one position. I had some sling issues here getting the rifle from behind me to in front of me, or I'm kind of tangled in it. That definitely didn't help me. Once I got the rifle going, I was able to engage one of these plates. Only left 5. I still had 5 penalties for each of the remaining plates, but that was far less than a lot of people. This port, you have to turn the rifle sideways, and I really wasn't sure where I was hitting, or that I needed to keep shooting until I hit the target. But there was the par timer, and that was it for the match. Overall, in the match, I got 38th out of 66 in the Scout Division, and 100 out of 171 overall.